Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin. Darren and Josh make a movie.
Hey everyone, it's Darren and Josh Make a Movie. And Josh, where are we today?
We are at a horror convention in Las Vegas, and Darren is selling this photo.
Days of the Dead?
Yes.
Days of the Dead. I'm selling that photo. No, we're here. I wanted Josh to understand the world of the con and what it was like. And I think part of the reality is no one cares about us.
No one cares at all.
Not a good goddamn.
We've been sitting here for about 45 minutes, and
someone did come over and they were very excited until they realized I was not the guy that directed Saw 3D, and then they left.
it's all right though.
I know.
It's
I'm
all
not
right.
Kevin Groiter. I'm not David Hackle.
Next week's episode, you're going to see a lot of footage from this convention that we're at. We'll be talking to some cool people that are here. Do you think we'll get a chance to chat with anybody?
Maybe Eli, David Howard.
Yeah.
But we do have a special little episode for you today. Our producer, Addison, answered one of the questions that we get asked a lot, which is, what advice would you have for an inspiring film school student who's just come to Los Angeles? And who better to answer that than Addison, who just came from my film school, Full Sail University.
And you'll get a chance to see she shot it, directed it.
It looks so much better than
edited it, everything. We're like, why did you make it look that good for us?
I mean, it's really upsetting that her episode that she filmed has a better production value than the entirety of every episode that we have shot.
And we'll also be...
excuse me, I'll be right with you and sign your stuff. So there's a huge line. We're just not going to pan over there right now, but there is a huge... Okay, you can show.
All right,
that's Ted Raimi's line, not ours.
We're also going to have a great segment this week. Uncle Creepy's back with us with a new segment of Uncle Creepy's Corner.
Addison, take it away.
Hi guys, what's up? It's Addison, the producer of Darren and Josh Make a Movie. As a lot of you know, I graduated about 7 months ago from film school, Full Sail University. And about a week after I graduated, I moved directly out to California. So I know there's a lot of people who are about to be graduating film school, or if you are someone who's about to be, you're probably wondering to yourself the big question of, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life? And I'm here to kind of answer that question because I'm still figuring it out for myself. To be honest, I don't know all the answers. But what I will say is, first and foremost, you need to figure out where it is that you want to go. So for me, I've always wanted to live in LA, and I feel like Hollywood is the place to be, especially because film has always been here. This is the birthplace of film, and I don't think it's ever going anywhere. So even when I was about to graduate school, there was a lot of controversy of, oh, what's the best place to go? Should I go to New York? Should I go to LA? Should I go to Atlanta? Well, the truth is, what's the best place for you? What place do you want to put your eggs in the basket? Because wherever you choose to go, and wherever you choose to network with the most people, that's where you're planning to set up shop. Because once you set up there, it's going to be harder to leave, because that's where your network and your base of people that you know is. Not saying that it's impossible. You can definitely make that move again. It's just going to be harder in the future, if that makes sense. So, what I will say, I'm not trying to sway you in either direction, but I really do love it out here in LA. It's been a wild ride. It's a beast for sure. So you have to be willing to put in the work and willing to do whatever it takes to stay out here. Because that's the next point, is the people who stay out here are the ones who end up making it. If you have to get a day job, you have to get a day job. And I know it sucks. I got a day job in October because I realized to myself, okay, if I actually want to do this, if I actually want to stay out here, I need a steady form of income. And while freelance is great, freelance does have some good money from it, you need something more steady, more stable, more, you can rely on it more. And so I ended up getting a retail job. I love my retail job, actually. Funny enough, I used to work in retail when I started working when I was 15. I worked at Kroger in Ohio. Funny. But with all that being said, if you get in with a retail job and they like you, especially in your first months that you move out here, that's what you want to be working towards. Even if you are working in a restaurant as a server, a waiter, whatever, bartender, barback, whatever you're doing, get in good, because the first 3 months, 4 months, it's going to be harder to get film work as you've established yourself at this retail job, this restaurant job. You're going to make friends, you're going to become super close with your higher ups at that job, and they're going to be more lenient when you get film work, to be able to work with you and to let you have that opportunity to go do that. That's what I found with my job. They've been super helpful when it comes to me wanting to pursue the industry, and that's something that's very hard to find out here, because a lot of people who are even like 20 years into their career would kill to have a retail job just because of the fact that it's steady income. And there are times when it's going to be 2, 3, 4 months and you don't have work. One thing, do not go home. Don't go home, okay? Don't do it. I almost did it. I almost stayed home. If it wasn't for a few people in my life who told me, they kind of gave me the boot. They were like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? No, leave. And for me, after graduating, I thought in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to stick around Florida for about another year or so. I'm going to, just make up or save up some money so that I can move to LA eventually, with also the thought in the back of my brain of, I don't know if I'm ever going to leave, So, if you are graduating, you have this very strong motivation right now, this drive in you of being like, oh my god, I can fucking do anything. And it's like sky's the limit, And you need to hold on to that and just go. Just leave. It's hard, I know, especially if you're leaving your parents for the first time. Trust me, I'm best friends with my parents. My parents are my absolute best friends. I love them so very much. The thought of leaving them scared the absolute shit out of me, and it was really hard to do. But it's the best decision I ever made, because I'm here now and I'm working in horror, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Crazy, out of school. And it was all because I just left. It was all because I just moved. So just move. Again, you're never going to have this much drive and motivation in your life to be able to go do something. So just do it. Also, that being said, in school, and how I ended up getting the podcast in general, you can't be afraid to be yourself. You can't. It's so, I know so many people say it, but it's so true. I am a horror nerd. My whole personality, that's like literally what I've adapted it to be, is I am a horror fanatic. I fucking love horror movies. I love Scream. That's my favorite horror movie. I got a lot of ghost faces behind me. Love them. But that's what I did in school too. I had a lot of digital video teachers, especially in high school, tell me, hey, Addison, don't you think you should branch out more, try something else, try something different? I never listened. I did try other things, but I always made it somehow pertain to horror. Like if I tried to do a comedy once and it still had Ghostface in it, funny enough. I tried to do, I did a documentary class at one point, and I adapted it to be a paranormal documentary where I went around and I interviewed people at a haunted location who worked there, and that was super freaking cool because it was like, oh, awesome. But with all that being said, I wasn't afraid to just do what I wanted to do, and especially when it came to doing projects in school, I only did horror shorts, and I only I was a cinematographer for many horror shorts. I directed a ton of horror shorts. So I always just stuck in that genre, and people saw me for that. And I wasn't necessarily even trying to do it. I was just like, hey guys, what's up? I like horror movies. Let's make a horror movie. You want to do it with me? And then they were all on board. That was kind of how it went. And so it wasn't until I ended up making my own horror short film where I wanted to do this little hotel lobby that I got really noticed for it, because I was like, oh guys, I'm gonna make a hotel lobby on the soundstage. And they're like, what do you mean you're gonna do that? We don't have any props to be able to do that. I'm like, yes we do, and I'm gonna show you. And I did it, and then that's what happened. And it's a cute little short. It's on my Instagram if you want to check it out. But with all that being said, I then, because I did all of this stuff and I advertised myself that way and I just adapted myself into this specific genre, that is how I got recommended for the job with Darren and Josh on Darren and Josh Make a Movie, the podcast. And it's been one of the best journeys ever, because I've gotten to work with so many insane people that I would have never in a million years even thought of working with, especially this early on, being this young, meeting so many horror fans, and just being in the horror community has been such a dream come true. I cannot even fathom. It's so anyways, what I'm trying to get at is just do what you love, okay? Like, if you want to do drama, if you want to do comedy, any genre that you want to do, any community that you want to be a part of, just fucking go for it. Just advertise yourself as that, and you'll get there. You'll get there. Slowly but surely you'll get there. I believe. I believe in you. When I started film school, a lot of people, the reasons why they were doing it was because they love movies. And I love movies too, okay? I love them. But what I will say is loving movies is not enough. It's not enough to if you actually want to do this. There's so much more to it. You have to have the drive, you have to have the passion, you have to have the love for the process of it, not just the love for the product. And it's so important. And if you find yourself being on set and saying, oh my god, I hate this, oh my god, I can't do this, this is terrible, this might not be the place for you. And this was something I had to ask myself too, because trust me, I've questioned it many, many times. I've asked people, and everyone's questioned it. What the heck am I doing with my life? Do I actually want to do this? Is this something I can do? You have to be some type of crazy fucked up person to want to do this. And I'm not saying that in the sense, like, I'm 7 months in, so, you know, I can't really say too much, but from what I've seen and what I've learned, you kind of have to be a little insane, a little ADHD, a little, insanity. Another thing is networking. It's about who you know, and it's about how you portray yourself as a person and how people see you. Let's think about it like a deck of cards. Your network is a deck of cards. Depending on how many cards you have in your deck, let's say they're all aces. Each person that you have to tailor to these cards. You have to protect these cards. And that means not giving them away to just anybody. People are going to, once you break in and once you start working, people are going to try to obtain the cards that you have. And you have to be so careful with who you give those cards to, because you could give your card away to somebody that you trust, and every time that you do that, you have to remember that you might not get that card back. Networking in school, I don't know what it is, but everybody had a lot of anxiety towards it, and even including me. I was freaking out about networking. I did not know how to send emails for the life of me. I did not know how to talk to people. I was like, what do you mean I have to research these people and figure out every aspect of their life? Isn't that creepy? Am I becoming some kind of stalker? What they were trying to teach was accurate in a sense, but what I've realized since moving out here is that you kind of just want to treat everybody as your friend, you know? don't go into a meeting thinking that you're going to get something out of it, because that's how you're going to come off. And that person is not going to want to talk to you. I've gone into meetings, and honestly, you just need to be yourself. You need to just show your personality, ask them about themselves, find common ground with them. Because once you find common ground with them, then guess what? You've made a new friend. You guys can hang out. You guys can go get coffee. While you do have the industry in common, and I'm not saying don't talk about that, definitely talk about that. I always bring it up. Like, I'm like, hey, what projects are you working on now? Hey, what projects? But honestly, you should try to let them lead the conversation. You don't want to be in a situation where you're the only one talking, because then it's kind of just this is a conversation about me and myself. And people love talking about themselves. So you just got to get them talking, and you got to keep asking them questions. I have not gotten an opportunity from everybody that I've met, but I've met a lot of amazing people, and I have a lot of amazing friends out here, and I'm so happy with everybody that I've met. And it's great to also just have the common ground of also working in the industry together, and it's another person you can go to for advice on things as well. They say you want to plant that seed and then keep watering it, keep tailoring to it, keep following up with it, because following up is very important. That is actually how you get jobs. If you are planning to move to LA, some things that I wish I knew before. LA's a beast. LA's a fucking beast. It's very spread out. It's not like New York. If you go to New York, everything's like right on top of each other. You can't drive. You gotta take public transportation everywhere. Here, you absolutely, most definitely need a car to get around, to do anything. It's kind of ridiculous. But that being said, it can be more of a chill environment. It's definitely a lot more spaced out, but it's nice. I like it. And again, all of the studios, so Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal, all on top of each other, 5 minutes from each other. I actually live 5 minutes from all the studios. Great. If you're looking to move out here, move to North Hollywood. Go to North Hollywood. Some other good places to move to is, I would say, I really was looking into Burbank's good. Burbank's a little bit more expensive, but I like North Hollywood. Get roommates. That's going to save you money. I would say Northridge isn't bad, Granada Hills, anywhere in the valley for the most part. I wouldn't go to Van Nuys. Don't go there. Definitely look into Sherman Oaks area. But honestly, if you're trying to stay more towards the studios, North Hollywood, Burbank, Sherman Oaks, Toluca Lake, West Hollywood's even a good one. Yeah, those are some good options. With all that being said, I don't know how many pieces of advice I just gave you. I don't know I hope that helped at least a little bit, and you feel more like you want to go and do it, because I believe in you, and I believe you can do this, and I know it's scary, and I know it's a lot, and it's a wild journey, but it's gonna be so good in the end. Trust me. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.
What if Forrest Gump didn't just run across America, but instead ran from something? What if Toy Story was less heartwarming and more heart-stopping? Welcome to Page One Rewrite, where we take your favorite non-horror movies, flip the script, and ask that question that we've always wondered about. What if it was a horror movie all along? Today, we're going to be traveling to a galaxy far, far away. The galactic civil war is raging. The rebellion is scattered. The Death Star is in ruins. But in the shadow of a broken empire, a new terror descends. From a cold, distant galaxy never charted by either the Jedi or the Sith. A transmission cuts through every channel in the galaxy. But this is no basic transmission. It is a shrill, mind-splitting frequency that causes seizures in the weak-minded and nosebleeds in the Force sensors. And then, without warning, they arrive. Gleaming metallic obelisks that fall like comets onto the surface of dozens of planets. From within these towering structures erupt tripods, biomechanical invaders, neither droid nor flesh. They're armed with heat rays that vaporize cities and black clouds of corrosive gas that melt skin right off the bone. They do not speak. They do not negotiate. They harvest. The Force is powerless against them. Jedi are ripped apart mid-levitation, their limbs strewn across battlefields. Stormtroopers are boiled alive inside their armor. Wookiees are pinned to the walls with sonic lances. On Coruscant, a massive tripod skewers the Jedi Temple with a single strike, sucking the Force energy from the ruins and sending a dark ripple across the galaxy. Luke Skywalker, now a fledgling Jedi, feels his connection to the Force begin to rot. Obi-Wan's voice grows distant. Yoda's ghost screams before vanishing into a swirl of static. The invaders are feeding, not on power, not on conquest, but on the very soul of the galaxy. Han and Chewbacca are caught mid-smuggling run as a huge war machine impales the Millennium Falcon, dragging it screaming into the gravity well. Leia, leading a dwindling band of rebels, watches her army die choking on gas that liquefies their lungs from the inside out. On Tatooine, entire sandcrawlers are reduced to bubbling metal. Tusken Raiders try to fight back but end up dismembered in just a matter of seconds, their bodies strung up as warnings. The Sith, desperate and cornered, attempt to ally with the invaders. Darth Vader leads an assault to breach one of the tripod eyes. The result? His severed helmet, spine dangling, is ejected onto Hoth, where it steams before twitching and going limp. And we've all been there, guys, right? Anyway, all Force users are gone and the rebellion is in ruins. Hope lies in a single insane plan. Luke, Leia, and the remnants of the Resistance must journey to the original impact crater on Dagobah, hoping that some ancient forbidden knowledge left behind in the swamp can offer a weapon. What they discover is older than the Jedi, older than the Sith, a buried truth that these invaders came before, long before, and that the Force was not a natural phenomenon. It was a barrier, a prison wall built to keep them out. Now that wall is broken, and the galaxy will burn. And that is a page one rewrite on Star Wars of the World. See you next time.
Congratulations. Most people don't make it to the end of the video, but not you. Not anymore. Next week we'll be at the con. We'll see you then. Bye.